Good evening, viewers, those who are watching us within Uganda and also those who are watching from the diaspora. We are grateful that you have made NTV your #1 station in this country. We're also happy that NTV People's Parliament is your favorite program. We are sitting in Kampala once more again, still talking about safer cities for our girls and safer mobility for our girls. Not only the girls, but also the boys and people living with disability. I am your speaker, Agnes Nandutu. Honorable members, you are welcome to NTV People's Parliament. Last Saturday, we were not able to finish this topic because of its importance. And girls were geared up to speak about issues that affect them while staying in this capital city, Kampala. And for now, I want to have more girls to speak about issues that affect them. Our young girls, how safe are you in the city?
I'm Nalma Gajaki from Makindye. My issue is mainly about the police. With defilement and rape, the issue is being tackled, but then not in the right way. Because if a girl is raped or defiled, the moment you go to the police and report that I've been defiled, the first issue will be, what were you putting on? But if I'm raped, does the clothes I've put on mean that I should be raped? The second issue is, where were you and at what time? Even if it was at midnight, does it mean that walking at midnight I should be raped? So every time you're tackling, you should not make me feel uncomfortable because of the clothes I've been putting on, or the place I've been walking through, or the time I've been walking, because we are girls, we need money.
So instead of protecting you, they traumatize you the more.
They traumatize me. And sometimes when I've reported, I even know the person who has done it, they will give me the letter that if you see the man, bring him to me. So if I'm the one having the referral letter, do you think I'll be able to bring the man?
Somebody who raped you, can you really arrest him? Honorable member from the police, it's good to have the police here. You have had the crime. Let her come and tell us why they do that. Police officer, please. For you as a police officer, you were in a probation office, yes? Do you ask those questions?
No, I don't. Even if I was not be in that office, I would not ask those questions. You're supposed to handle someone expeditiously, because when someone has been raped, there are very many channels that person go through. You have to take her or him for medical examination immediately to ascertain the status of the suspect. Otherwise, if someone was raped some 2 days and you're asking her those questions, and if the suspect was positive living, then eventually the victim will be in that status. So you don't ask those funny questions.
So do police officers do that?
No, it's not supposed to be like that. Yes.
So you take the gospel to other police officers that, please, if our girls come to report, don't ask them those questions. Okay, thank you.
So what I was asking is that maybe every time they get such cases, I'd rather they do their job than taking the job to ask that you should bring the person to the police, because I cannot do it.
Okay.
First and foremost, I would like to thank the police patrol for their wonderful job that they've done in our communities, because nowadays we're having police night patrols. Actually, in community where I come from, we have a problem of drug dealers. Most especially, these drug dealers, they hide in unfinished buildings.
So those drug dealers are not arrested by police?
They are arrested.
Drugs are illegal in this country.
Drugs are illegal in this country, but Honorable Speaker, we have a problem of corruption and bribery in our country. You're very well aware of that. And these drug dealers, they tend to hide in unfinished buildings, especially in the mid of, because where I come from is a slum area. So there are very many unfinished buildings. And in these unfinished buildings, these drug dealers tend to hide in there. So when a girl like me is bypassing, I'm likely to be harassed or even pushed or pulled inside that building, and I'm likely to be raped. So even in the process of trying to run away, remember, it being that it's a slum, I have higher chances of falling in trenches, because wherever you go, you're likely to find trenches full of garbages, because in home cleaning, they tend to charge lots of money, whereby the poorest of the poor is not able to afford. How can one afford 5K to pay for garbage, yet she can't even afford buying for a meal a day?
Okay.
So they are likely to pour these rubbishes where? In the trenches. Okay. So in the process of me running from this drug dealer who is trying to rape me, I can be able to fall, and in that process I can get injured.
Now we have the LOC chairpersons, the LOC. So what are you doing as a leader to ensure that the owners of these buildings finish them and also deal with the drug dealers?
I'm Robert Chibajira Sabina, the chairman of Gaba Mission, at the same time Kabaka's chief representing Gaba Parish. Madam Speaker, before I answer that question, are we aware that there is population explosion in the city?
Yes, we are. I think we are. Are you aware?
Yes. Are you aware that there is a lot of immorality in the city?
Most especially by men.
These things entirely depend on parenting in the city. Because if parents don't come out to bring up children the way they are supposed to be brought up, it's a problem. Today I would like to commend Plan International because it has done a great job, and I think you better clap for them. I commend some policemen and women who, we call it, professionally attend to cases, especially when such cases like the other girl mentioned, because I've seen, for the time I've been in leadership, such cases have been happening. And when it comes to opium smoking, it seems as if they are partners of some policemen. Dark places are reported, but they don't take time to go and do the needful. And when some of these culprits are apprehended, they just release them anyhow. I would like to commend NTV also for the work well done.
Thank you.
I would like to appeal to everybody in the city that whatever you do, you have to do it in harmony with the government. Because many people do things out of, I mean, can I call it as if they are mad? And some of them are parents and others are leaders. So let's come back to normality.
But I remember, what are you doing to the unfinished buildings, those abandoned buildings, as leaders, local leaders in the area?
Yeah, local leaders report these buildings to KCCA. But you see, some people play politics in these things. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yes, I do.
So I think we better come out and do the needful. Identify places which are unfinished, and on security matters, report to police.
My name is Nachintu Hilda, and I would like to thank the Uganda police for they have really done a great job of doing night patrols, but leaving out the day patrols, like patrolling during day. Because, yeah, as she has mentioned of those drug dealers, because they are always there in hideouts during their drugs and harassing girls.
And actually the LOC1 chairman has said they report these cases, but the police do not do anything. Yeah. They work like they are in partnership with the police.
Yeah.
Why is that happening? Just a moment. Afande. Are you partners with the drug dealers, please?
Madam Speaker, we are not partners with the drug dealers because we have the drug law. When someone is got smoking, the drug is supposed to be apprehended and is supposed to be produced in court.
But this does not happen according to the LOC1 chairman.
If it did not happen in his area, then he should blame the OC of that area, but not the police as a general. Because it was a weakness from that very place.
It's not only in those hideouts that the drugs are always there, but even these people who have very many plantations, like they tend to plant weed in the middle of their farms, like they hide it there. So I think they should do a general checkup on those people
Big
who
plantations.
Yeah.
She has given you a tip. When you say a very big plantation, go up to the middle, you'll find opium.
I'm here on behalf of young girls who work in bars. We girls who work in bars, lodges and other places, sports betting and others, we have a challenge. We face a lot of sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is done by some bosses and some customers. So
when they take 1, 2, 3,
a drunkard customer can come. If he fail to get someone, he's seeing you, the girl in that place, the customer is seeing you as a sexual object.
I'm Nora, and the Acting Executive Director, Youth Empowerment Link, and an adolescent, and I'm a youth advocate. As we talk about girls' safety, we all know very many issues around sexual harassment, and this uncared for sexual harassment is giving Uganda a high rank in the sub-Saharan Africa with the teenage pregnancy, which teenage pregnancy may not be conceptual, but through rape, defilement, and whatever. And at the end of the day, the results are in a triad. The girls who are raped, they give birth to their children, and later they are the street children. Later they are the gangsters because they've not accessed education. So I'm calling upon whoever is responsible, and maybe if in the house we have culture and family affairs, someone responsible for that, maybe there is a loophole in parenting, as chairman said, because I'm still wondering in my mind if a child can be just suspended and this child is having that temper of burning the whole school. It is a question. At police, a number of issues are happening. I reported a case at Gaba police station. My phone was stolen. I gave a lot of information, 2 pages, but I was given a cheat, and they told me, once you see that border man, bring him here. Oh. The case ended there.
How can a victim arrest you?
I told them the man is at the stage, I've left him there. But they gave me a cheat and told me never lose it, move with it every day. Once you find him, bring him here. Okay. And another question, I don't know whether it is our mandate to give chai to police or it is the government's mandate, because chai is asked every day. And another issue I have to talk about, when the councillor, Central Division, was here, he said that they've done a lot of appeals and people are not maybe collaborating. Some things need to move from the step of appealing. Take an example, when KCCA passed an ordinance of paving, those people who have buildings near the road, of paving the ground, it was an ordinance. As Ugandans, sometimes we never welcomed it, but when it was put into action, the shops were locked, they paved their grounds, and now we are enjoying, even those ones who had refused. So, issues to do with lighting, people who do not have toilets, do the sensitization, appeal to a certain period of time, then an ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I think you have heard the voices of the people staying in the city. Let's go for a short break. Don't go away. NTV People's Parliament comes back shortly. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Kampala, capital city, talking about safe cities for our girls and safe mobility.
I'm Nakalyango Angela, adolescent girl, Safer Cities program. And as many issues have been said by my fellow adolescents, my point as a girl coming from Bwaise, my place, we have many abandoned houses, and it has led to our unsafe in my area, as my fellow adolescents have spoke about it. And my issue is, let the bylaws be implemented. We raised our points to KCCA, and they told us that as they came down to our cities to try to demolish the abandoned houses, they told that the owners of the abandoned houses raised up. But my issue is, let them get down to the people owning the abandoned houses and put a bylaw about it, that you're given a month. If you are not using that abandoned house, let it be closed up. And if the bylaws are implemented, things will go right. As Madame Nora Shall said about it, when they told people to put pavers, it wasn't made out by just saying about it. But when they made the bylaws, people got to understand and it was done. But if the bylaws are made, it will be happy to us, it will make us happy, and those abandoned houses will be demolished, or the owners will get to use them. And something else, sensitization. Let people be sensitized about the badness of the abandoned houses and the many bad places. If people are sensitized, like for example, they get Mukalakasa, you all know Mukalakasa. They pay someone, passes down into the villages, passing out the information. Or else they advertise like the posters like these ones. People will get the information, and it will be over happiness when things are worked upon. Okay. And I request the sensitization and the bylaws to be implemented. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. KCCA is on the spot on abandoned houses. What are you doing and what are you committing to ensure that our city is safe for the girls?
My name is Vili Agaba Albert Amot. I'm a physical planner for Central Division.
You are in a good position to answer these questions.
And I'm in charge of all those issues that they have stated about, especially on structures. Honorable Speaker, on the issue of structures, we are so much concerned about these structures that they have created a very big problem to our honorable members. As one of the precurrent speakers was communicating, that these structures, we have tried to put them down. And others, we managed to put them down because, first of all, these structures, they don't fit the standard of the city. Some of the structures have been poorly constructed, others have been abandoned. And of course, the law requires us that within 2.5 years, somebody should have finished his building. So, in instances where somebody fails to raise the money or to finish a structure, he's supposed to provide hoarding such that nobody enters it. So, but there are some of these structures which are in the slum areas. Deep down in Kawempe, you go in Waise, you go down in Mutungo Bina, down there. So these structures, where they are, they have been constructed and they have not been finished. The owners have not submitted plans. They are illegal structures, and they come up over the weekend. And that is why when we raised it of recent to the Honorable Minister for Kampala, she communicated it that these people are constructing buildings at night. Please, we are going to start putting them down, because they are the very people, they raise the structure, it reaches a wall plate, and the structure is abandoned. And it takes 4, 5 years, 10 years, and others. So, like these structures, since they are illegally constructed, and even in the last workshop, we committed ourselves that we are going to look for these structures. We want to commit ourselves that these illegal structures, which have become a problem, since we have already started dealing with them, some of them we have been putting them down, and now of recent have been putting up some kiosks. You find kiosks where people can easily hide, and now we have also started removing them. So these structures, such as structures, we are going to deal with them. I'm going to also engage my other colleagues, because you'll find in Central where we have few in Kisenyi, and most of them have been demolished of recent. So we want to deal with this in Kagugube and other areas. Okay. And we request that you give us support, because these structures, they also belong to you. In quotes, they may not be yours, but they belong to you. And you construct them at night illegally, so when we come to put them down, after giving you notices, you should support us.
Okay. What about the buildings where people with disabilities do not access? What are you going to do with
Honorable
these buildings?
Speaker, since 2012 and 14, KCCA has been approving plans strictly with provision for a ramp to allow disability, with provisions for toilets for disability. Now the issue is, if they have not put them there, how do we enforce that? Even of recent, you had the president when he was visiting Kampala and the honorable minister, they said we should enforce on the issue of toilets. Now that we have our plan says there should be a ramp and a toilet. So we are going to check those structures which do not have ramps and do not have PWDs. Then when we close the whole city, please, you support us, because it's not easy.
Yes.
We have the capacity to do that. We have ever done this, and it has happened. Of recent, as this Honorable Nora said, we moved along Gaba Road, along the whole of Machinde division. Whoever didn't have a frontage paved, we closed the buildings. And now, when you are moving, at least we have reduced on the mud that moves from the ground onto the road. So, with your support, with the People's Parliament support, and our members of Parliament support and others, we can enforce on the issue of ramps. Actually, we are going to start on it very fast.
When are you starting?
On the ramps?
Yeah.
Of course, like we shall move around, we identify the buildings we have approved with plans showing that this one has a ramp. Then we move down and we see if they have put or not. If they have not put, we give them a notice of 28 days to put the ramp on. If they don't comply, then after 28 days, the law takes its course.
Thank you. In the next parliament, you will tell us how many buildings you have closed.
Exactly.
Thank you.
I want to address the issue of sexual harassment in our local markets. Like, we know it's increasing all the time, and most of us here, we buy our clothes, the mivumbas, from down there. But we are being harassed by these men down there, and what hurts most is that even the women that maybe are like our mothers, they don't even help. They just look on. It's normal to them. There is nothing they've done to help us, and nowadays we don't do our shopping down there. We remain with our clothes. You wash this same one, you put it on tomorrow. So it's increasing, and I don't know, people are not looking at it. We are looking at the border riders, but in Owino and other local markets, it's worsening. We need help.
I'm called Mr. Obote. I come from Lira, but I ride in Namongo.
Okay.
I know you have been touching us as border who are really stubborn in Kampala. But really...
And for sure you are stubborn.
We are not stubborn. As you are seeing me, the way I'm gentle, it means I'm not stubborn.
Okay.
I have only one point that we were being stuck in here about bad dressing. Really, bad dressing also makes a border really to misbehave. We have customers, the ladies that they are saying they are ever drunk. You will carry a lady who is putting on a bad way, and he will handle you. And automatically, you will just know very well, like, he's in need of anything. But really, we have tried hard to see, like, we should implement, teaching them, telling them what to do, and we have implemented laws in our stages, whereby anyone who passes...
Somebody is itching to... Are you putting him to order? Or?
I don't think that if someone is to harass a person, it's all about their dressing. Because we've had a lot of men harassing kids, even at school. Is it about their dressing? Because they put on uniforms. There are even kids, we've heard of men harassing babies of 3 months. Is it because of their dressing? I wanted him to answer.
It's not because of dressing that you should rape these girls. But also the girls, with due respect, let's put on decently.
My name's Byibesho Richard, Chairman Gasamvu Zone, Kisugu Parish, Makini Division. They normally say charity begins at home. Let me take this opportunity to thank Plan International Uganda, because we requested them to renovate our main office, our main hall. They did it, On top of that, they have already give us another new toilet in our community. Thank you so much. God bless you with everything. We have requested State Council to come to construct channels in within our area. For example, there is this big channel Nakivubo, which collects all water of Kampala. When it goes down there, it comes back in our community. So our community are suffering too much. We have other 4 channels connected to Nakivubo, also it is unconstructed. Some time back, we found a dead person there. So we request Kampala State Council to come in and help us. Thank you so much. God bless you.
By the way, the issue of those channels, Honorable Member from KCCA, the physical planner.
I want to take this opportunity again to communicate on the issues that are pending. Honorable Speaker, as I communicated, my name is Agaba Albert Ville Amot. I'm a physical planner for Central Division. But one important thing is on the drainage. We have worked on the drainage ever since we came to the city.
Work in progress.
Yes, work
in progress.
Steady progress. Steady progress. Now, where you have seen the drainage you have worked on all roads we have worked on, the newly constructed roads, we have put there lights, we have put the drainage, and we have worked on the road, and when you look at them, you really appreciate. Isn't it so, honorable members? Then, on the issue of drainage, in the other areas which you have not worked upon, like we managed to work with the team in Chambogo area, around Peps. When you move around that side of industrial in Chambogo, there used to be a lot of flooding. Every time, even a single pour or a small pour, you find a lot of flooding. We worked with the team, the owners of the buildings, where it required the demolishing, we demolished. Where it required, you remember even we had a fight around the Peps there. I saw it on TV. People were not happy, but now when you pass there, you really appreciate that what was done was great.
Okay.
Then on the other areas of drainage where we have not attended to, we are trying to work on the Nachivoros channel. And we have tried to work all the way from Boise. But that channel is so big and so huge. And the lady here, the Honorable Member of Parliament, presented it very well, that maybe some companies are overcharging them and they have nowhere to dump the garbage, so they dump in the drainage. And when you dump the garbage in the drainage, then it becomes worse. So now that our public health team is also present and have realized that this is a serious concern, they must review now the contractors we have who are collecting garbage. They talked about Home Clean, the
number of them.
So we have to revise the contract we have with them, and we see that people have capacity or are willingly giving this garbage to the contractor other than dumping it in our drainage channels.
Okay, thank you.
And final on the drainage, Honorable Speaker. Like we have worked on the big drainages, and there are other small tributaries which the community have been also working upon. We request also other development partners, because this is a huge cost which KCCA cannot manage at the moment, because you realize, honorable members, they have been cutting our budget the other time and has been reducing. So when it reduces, of course, even the services reduce. So it depends on what has been allocated to us, and that's what we can able give.
Okay.
So we request other development partners like Plan International, have had this organization and others
to come and help
on small drainages.
Thank
and we
you.
work on the bigger one.
KCCA has a big burden to ensure that the Kampala capital city is safe for our girls. Let's go for a short break. And when we come back, we shall hear more commitments from the leaders. Yes, welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, chaired by none other than your Speaker, Agnes Nandutu. We are sitting in Kampala discussing about safety of our girls in the city and the mobility of people living with disabilities in this city. I want the stakeholders to make commitments now. The bus operators who harass our girls, what are we going to do?
Tweyanza nnyo Plan International okubanga evuddeyo ku baana abawala abakabasanyisibwa abasajja. Ffe wansi ku ground ng'aba taxis tugenda kutwala embeera ey'okubanga tusomesa bannaffe obutakabasanya abaana abawala. Olina kutandikira mu makaago okulaga omwana omuwala amaanyi ge gakoma luddawa. Tegalina kuba nakoma okusinga ku mulenzi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. He has committed that as a taxi operator, he's going to ensure that he educates other people to ensure that they respect our girls.
My name is Mayanja Peter, and I'm a probation officer with KCCA, Central Division. For me, it is about enforcing the existing laws. We have very good laws in regard to protecting young girls in our communities and cities. But these laws have not been enforced to fully. And again, to the men, we are receiving so many cases in our offices, and also Child and Family will testify, of men neglecting their roles and duties. Of late, we are seeing so many single mothers, and the men are nowhere to be seen. And you're wondering why. We've spoken to some men, and men are saying, you brought up so many laws. Now it's as if you owned the women. Yeah? So you, those that made the laws, now you take up all the women. But it is a humble cry, especially to the men, when it comes to issues of gender-based violence, issues of defilement, issues of rape. Before coming here, I'm from the High Court, and I'm doing what we call victim impact assessment for victims of rape, defilement, and all that. And the men there are regretting why they did the acts they did. So everyone that is seeing me, especially on TV, especially the men, my cry goes to the men because we are the biggest perpetrators.
They're the ones harassing our girls.
Yes. Let's give these young girls an opportunity to move in our communities freely. But not only to the girls, but also to the women. Yeah. The women, they live in fear, and there are so many places they don't go to. So it is my very humble cry to the men, please let us make sure that we protect the girls and women. And lastly, as I finish, Madam Speaker, it's another cry to police. Many cases are dying at that level.
The files are disappearing.
Files are disappearing. Cases of defilement.
I don't know whether it is a cancer in the police. The cancer of files disappearing.
So police is siding with the suspects, and files are nowhere to be seen. But it's not only police, even LCs. LCs, I saw an LC here. You're letting families negotiate at that level. How much do you have? Can you get a goat for the other party? And the case is concluded. But what have you done to this young girl? And another cry is also to the judiciary.
The last one.
It's another cry to the judiciary, because some cases are also dying at that level. Again, we've seen it's very hard to get a case to the police level. It's very hard to get a case at LC, and now it has reached judiciary. And also judiciary is also conniving with the suspects. And for the victims, they are left nowhere. So, Madam Speaker, thank you so much for that time.
Thank you, Probation Officer. Town Clerk.
Representing Supervisor Education Services, KCCA, in charge of Rubaga Division. While we are all putting our hands and heads together to promote safety of children and young girls in our community, but I think it needs a multi-pronged approach. Where sometime back somebody was reflecting about the girls from the university who go out drinking throughout the night, and in the morning they are helpless and they can be raped in a manner of transporting them. As while we have had challenges of economy in our country, and some girls have fallen victims, they come here to look for opportunities. But I want to believe that the girls who are in the university are girls from well-to-do families where parents have been able to pay fees up to that level. But because we have a problem of moral decadence in our country, which has gone so bad, they do not even realize why they have come to the university to do their studies, and they want to go out and drink themselves silly throughout the night, and this is what happens. But I also want to appeal to my fellow men, because when you look at, for example, the girls who are always on the street lining up, waiting for men to come and buy them off, really men who have families, men who have children at home, but they are busy picking up these girls who want some little money and taking them for that kind of business. So I want to appeal to every citizen that we need to come together and we reflect and we build a culture of morals, because it is becoming terrible within our country. And the issue of parenting, and this one must begin from our homes as we bring up our children. What kind of standards are we setting for them? And while we set standards for them to behave well, but we must also walk the talk as parents. Because if I tell my children that I will always expect you at home by 7, and I'm coming back at midnight, then the children will know that I'm always coming back at midnight, then they can start coming in at 10, as long as they can get home before me. So I think we all need to be responsible and ensure that we build our country. We bring up citizens who are going to be responsible for their actions, and who are going to be future mothers and fathers who can continue involvement within our country. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Somebody from gender?
We are here to make a commitment. As a gender directorate and as KCCA, we are committed to conduct massive sensitizations to the public in regard to the safety of the girls and the women, as well as the entire community as well. We also have labor sections in gender. They talked about inspecting of workplaces where our adolescent girls are abused or insulted. We have labor officers who are responsible for inspecting those places. We are committed to inspect those workplaces, and we also request you to report, because if you do not report, then we might not find out some of the issues. So we'll do that. We are committed to do that.
My name is Hajat Hajaranal Vega from the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development in the Department of Family and Cultural Affairs. As you are aware, a lot has gone wrong at family level. As the department, we are committed to our national parenting guidelines, which we want to disseminate all over the country. And with support from Plan International and other organizations, we shall be able to do that. And at the same time, we are coming up with a family policy where we want to streamline many things that have gone wrong at family level, that are bringing all this insecurity for girls and women in the cities. And secondly, a number of negative sociocultural practices have impacted on our girls and other offenders of the girls and women in the city. And as a department, we are working with the cultural institutions and the cultural leaders to ensure that they make pronouncements against the negative sociocultural practices that are impacting on the girls' safety and women in the city. And so, in this city, we shall be working with the Buganda Cultural Institution to ensure that they make their personal pronouncements at that level, because, you know, the cultural officers, the cultural institutions are the custodians of all those cultural beliefs and negative that are impact on the safety of the girls. So we are working with them to ensure that they promote the positive cultural practices. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can I have one girl as a way forward? What do girls want?
What we girls want, we want to see a well-lit city. We want to see when the drainage systems are well built, and we want to see inclusive city together with the people with physical disabilities, such that they can also access all the services. And I also commit to speak up when I see a girl being harassed.
My name is Victoria Ateluna, working with Plan International under the Safer Cities for Girls program. Thank you so much for all the deliberations. One thing that we need to take up is taking on our responsibilities in our different positions. It's not about you as an individual, because you're here in different capacities, first as a Ugandan, as a citizen, as a parent, and then also a civil servant also. So let's take up our roles. Let's not lie back and wait maybe for commitment from civil societies. As Plan, we are committed to working with every partner to create a safer Kampala city for the girls. And we would urge everyone to rise up and be able to stand with us as we stand up for this cause. Thank you.
Thank you. Because of time constraints, we cannot have everybody speak, but in the next parliament, I will ensure that everybody speaks. Those who have been watching us, thank you for sparing your time to watch NTV People's Parliament. And we thank our partners, Plan International, who have made all the efforts to ensure that our girls are safe in the city, to ensure that the people with disabilities also move safely. We thank all the LC chairpersons, we thank all the division mayors who have done everything together with Plan International to make Kampala capital city safe for our girls. I am your speaker, Agnes Nandutu, and I aspire to inspire you before I expire. With powers conferred upon me as the Speaker of People's Parliament, I adjourn this house until next Saturday.
Views expressed on this show do not represent those of NTV or its staff.